Billionaires' kids live the most luxurious lives you could ever imagine. Like Trump's kids can use his private jet whenever they want, and Bill Gates' kids can live in any of his crazy mansions for free. But Billionaires' kids also drive the most expensive cars in the world, along with some weird ones. These are the expensive lifestyles of Billionaires' kids. And Elon Musk's kids are so rich, they can act like they're rappers picking out which car to drive. Except they're picking out which private jet they want to fly. And not only do they get to ride in any of Elon's 5 private jets whenever they want to travel, they also get to live in a giant $35 million compound that looks like a castle. And he has 2 wives raising all his kids there. That's like straight out of Game of Thrones. And whenever Elon isn't playing Diablo 4, he'll visit and spend some time with his children. But since Elon has 11 kids, each kid probably only gets around 13 minutes of time with the richest man in the world. Except for one of his kids. She gets no time with him. Cause Xavier became trans and changed her name to Vivian, and Elon was not a fan. So she's completely dead to him.
So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I guess after that, he stopped naming his kids normally, because all his other kids are named like Exa Dark Cider Ale, Techno Mechanicus, and his most famous kid, XAAXII. Let's just say X. But after coming up with their names through a random number generator, Elon put all of them in a private school. Not just any private school though, a high-end private school he invented for them called Ad Astra. At this school, Elon's kids don't get grades or learn the stuff that traditional schools teach. And whatever they're learning, it's working, because it's turning them all into mini Elons. Like his son Damien, he became a classical music prodigy somehow. So Elon's kids seem to be turning out alright. But the way Jeff Bezos raises his kids sounds like the start to a horror movie. Because Jeff wanted to teach his kids how to take calculated risks. Doesn't seem too bad, right? Well, wait until you hear how he teaches them. When his kids turned 4 years old, he started letting them play with sharp knives. I feel like that's gotta be illegal or something. But it gets even crazier, because when his kids turned 7, they got to use power tools. Kinda intense for teaching 7-year-olds about life. But the real danger might be Bezos' daughter, because if you didn't know, she's actually adopted from China. Is she an actual sleeper agent? No. Hopefully. If she is, China made a 500 IQ play with that one, because each kid is set to receive $50 billion from Jeff's inheritance. I thought all billionaires would give their money to their kids, but Zuck? He wants them to be broke and scared for their life. See, Zuck and his wife are trying to give away 99% of their Facebook shares to cure diseases. Good for them, but that means their kids are gonna get like nothing. So they wrote some dark-ass letters to their kids to prepare them for being broke. They literally told them that they better enjoy being a kid, because when you grow up, you only have time to grind and advance the future of civilization. Zuck's even got these kids doing chores at like 4. Dude is committed to making them work hard. But even though these kids are probably gonna have insane mental issues when they read those notes, they're doing alright for now. Like they got to go to a Taylor Swift concert with Zuck, fly around on Zuck's Gulfstream G650 private jet for vacation, and even get to use his $300 million yacht. Wonder if Zuck will screw them out of that thing too when they grow up. But at least he's giving them some real estate, because he's building a giant family compound in Palo Alto, and probably giving each kid their own couple $1 million home. He bought 4 other properties next to his house, and connected them all with walkways. But this compound looks like a playground compared to the megastructure the kids are gonna inherit, because Zuck built a house inside a doomsday bunker underneath the city in Hawaii. He's bought 1,400 acres of land to build a compound with 2 mansions, a gym, a tennis court, pools, a spa, guest houses, and an operations building. The bunker underneath is a 5,000 square foot shelter with a blast-resistant door, a lifetime supply of food, and its own energy. So if the kids can't cure cancer, they can just chill here for the rest of their lives. But LeBron's kids get to live the life most kids dream of having. Because as kids, they would play pickup basketball at LeBron's mansion in Beverly Hills, which is pretty crazy. Imagine getting to play pickup basketball with the greatest player of all time whenever you want. But all his kids also get to go courtside to NBA games. And you probably know that it gets even crazier than that, because LeBron's kids were getting recruited to colleges at the age of 10. And he even got his son Bronny into the NBA just to play with him on the Lakers, even though he was terrible. They also get to meet a ton of celebrities and influencers, like Bryce James going on stream with Kai Cenat, Bronny with Aiden Ross, and Bronny also even got to walk out with Drake at his concert in LA, right after he almost died. Because if you didn't know, Bronny had a heart attack during college. Something tells me he was balling and indoor skiing at the same time. Regardless, all LeBron's kids can basically do whatever they want and aren't forced to do anything. LeBron even gifted them multiple whips so they could feel like rappers. But Jay-Z is a real rapper, and the way he and Beyonce spoil their kids is on a whole new level. The tuition for their elementary school alone is $50K. That's like the same as a high-end college. But school isn't everything to Bay and Jay, because they bring their kids, Blue Ivy, Rumi, and Sir, on tour with them. And thanks to Beyonce, she also got Blue Ivy involved with music from a young age, and she became the youngest person ever to win a VMA and Grammy. But it's literally just a participation award, because she can't even sing yet. But since Blue owns the rights to the songs, she's already worth 500 mil. Being worth 500 mil at the age of 12 is crazy work. But since Beyonce can't be watching over the kids 24/7, they had 3 nannies working in 8-hour shifts for every kid. Still, Beyonce will bring them everywhere, whether it's the red carpet, the Oscars, traveling the world. I mean, Beyonce got these kids taking baths full of honey with her. At least Jay has them doing normal things, like going to courtside NBA games, flying on the private jet, going to private islands, and using their private beach at their Malibu mansion. Jay sounds like the most chill dad ever, but he's definitely just tired of buying gifts for his kids, because the environment the kids were raised in is absolutely ridiculous. Like buying them a $20,000 Cinderella carriage crib for Blue, dresses for Blue worth $37K, and diamond-encrusted high chairs totaling $45,000. For Blue's first birthday, Beyonce dropped $200 grand. They also dropped $80K for a diamond Barbie for Blue, $106K for gold cribs for the twins Rumi and Sir, $600,000 on a gold rocking horse for Blue, and $2.5 million on jeweled up pacifiers. Fucking pacifiers. But the craziest thing they spent on the kids was something special. And guess where their fam is? The fam's in Paris. And they dropped an estimated $2 mil to close down the Louvre, the most famous museum in the world, just so Blue could walk around and not appreciate anything since she was 2 years old. At least that didn't cause too much controversy. Oh wait, apparently Jay-Z is accused of essaying a 13-year-old with Diddy in 2001. That's still alleged though, so we don't know. But Bill Gates and his kids got involved in something extremely controversial, and that's confirmed. Because Bill's kids are all in their 20s right now, but when they were growing up, they were surprisingly normal. Since Bill wanted them to have a strict middle-class upbringing, the kids weren't allowed to have iPhones till they were 14 years old and had limited screen time. But Bill's kids were smart, and they were able to bypass the limited screen time. Not only that, they know how to use a VPN, so they could access region-restricted content from all over the world. They use something called Private Internet Access VPN, which hides your identity and location, along with protecting you from hackers and internet service providers like Verizon that steal your data and sell it. With 30 million plus downloads and nearly 4.5 stars on Trustpilot, you could see why private internet access is at the top of VPN companies. You can easily establish a connection from your phone or laptop with an unlimited number of devices to hide your IP and location. And not only that, PIA also allows you to watch geo-restricted content on your favorite streaming service, such as Netflix. This way you have access to content from all over the world. By using our link piavpn.com/wealthvault, you can grab an extra 83% discount on private internet access. That's just $2.03 a month. And you also get 4 extra months completely free. But back to Bill Gates' kids. Phoebe Gates went to Stanford and got an internship at Vogue in fashion. Jennifer Gates is going to be a doctor. And Rory Gates wants to be a computer engineer. Oh yeah, they also grew up and lived on a 66,000 square foot mansion in Washington. Yeah, ain't no way their lives are that relatable. This place was nicknamed Xanadu 2.0, so it was even bigger than this thing from Citizen Kane. It had a trampoline room, a pool, and an artificial beach. I've never even heard of something like that. But even though they lived in a house bigger than a football field, they really aren't getting that much from Gates. Just a small 10 mil each. Still, if I was their son, I'd be low-key pissed a dude worth over 100 bill couldn't even slide me one. But that's more than enough to be okay. As long as they know to invest with those Stanford degrees in the Gates family name, they'll be making Xanadu 3.0, 4.0, and 5.0 in no time. But after Bill got divorced for allegedly having a relationship with Epstein, the kids must have been pissed. That was probably the most awkward dinner conversation of all time when he broke the news to them. But Mark Cuban is the opposite of awkward. He's one of the coolest dads in this video. And it's not because his kids Alyssa, Jake, and Alexis grew up in a mansion in Dallas like the other billionaire kids. It's because Mark actually spends a ton of time with them and goes with them on fun excursions. Like he brought his daughters to see him on Dancing with the Stars and took his son to courtside Mavericks games. Definitely helps when your dad literally owns the team. And whenever his kids went anywhere, they were driven in a bulletproof car. Imagine pulling up to school like that. That's gotta be the hardest shit ever for a kid. But shockingly, they aren't spoiled brats, even though they all went to prep schools and can probably choose any college they want, as long as Mark donates a building. Because Mark and his wife wanted their kids to grow up right. He doesn't want them relying on his money for anything. And Mark may not actively help them, but his name for sure does. Because Alexis got 350,000 followers on TikTok, and Alyssa just casually gets to walk on the red carpet with her dad. Girls get spoiled more anyways, but bring out your son a bit, man. I guess Mark makes up for it by letting all of his kids use his private jet for vacation, and their vacation home is unreal. Dude got his kids a 19 mil vacation home in Laguna Beach. And I guess doors are for poor people, because this crib got entire walls that open up to an outdoor patio, a private pool, and a surrounding view of the ocean. And even though it's just a house, it's a part of an exclusive community that has concierge and room service. So his kids get resort treatment and private. I don't think they've thrown any wild parties at the crib though. But Kim and Kanye's kids had parties so big, the fire department had to come. Northwest even got a sleepover party at the Beverly Hills Hotel for her 10th birthday. They got Hello Kitty themed mocktails, tent beds, personalized pajamas for her friends, and a big-ass birthday cake. No joke, this thing is bigger than any wedding cake I've ever seen. But Kim doesn't play favorites. For Chicago's 5th birthday, she got a dual slide into a ball pit, a ramen bar, milkshake station, and waffle pops. She also did a Hello Kitty style. But this time, they literally got the Hello Kitty mascot to come. I assume that's pretty cool for a girl. But the level they went to for Sam's birthday party is stupidly extra. Because for him, they turned their entire crib into a fire station. There's a snack bar, a bounce house, and over the top is fuck cake, and another ball pit. Do kids really like these that much? It doesn't matter though, because if anyone got bored, they got a full team of firemen to come with an antique truck. But the craziest part of this birthday party was the Dalmatian station. Yeah, they set up a full section for kids to adopt and take home a fire station Dalmatian puppy. Kanye also lets them use his $60 million mansion in the Hidden Hills for whatever parties they want. And this place also has a ball pit, a shit ton of stuffed animals, and a playground. Not to mention they could use the yacht, Kim's private jet, and Kanye's floating office. These kids better have a better life with a psycho dad than a stable family. Even with all the parties though, Kim and Kanye made sure they got educated. But what ended up happening at the school caused Kanye to threaten to shoot it up. I'm not even joking. Chicago, North, St. and Sam all went to the same school, Sierra Canyon. And this place is like the Yale of elementary schools. It costs $45,000 a year, and the kids get first-class treatment. Just for food, they get orange chicken, grilled salmon, and can choose vegan or vegetarian. For sports, there's a strict no-cut policy, so that everyone has a chance, even if the kid didn't practice at all. So basically, it's a school for pussies. St. West did get a football lesson from Tom Brady there though, so I think it's worth it. But Kanye hates the school, because he thinks they're brainwashing his kids. So he posted the name online, days after he said he wanted to shoot up a school. Bro. So Kim hired a full security team to protect the school from him. But when their dad isn't crashing out, he's pretty chill about his kids' lives. And even though The Rock is like the most alpha type guy on the planet, he's also chilled out a bit since he's had 3 daughters. Thank God. If he had a son, that kid would probably have to wake up at 3 a.m. every day for a 10-mile run. But luckily, all the daughters love sports anyways. His 2 youngest go hiking, swimming, and fishing with him and explore nature with the mom. But his middle daughter loves animals a little too much, because she's a horse girl. Yup, major L. But The Rock doesn't take L's. So he set her up with a stable and a horse arena at their place in Georgia. But she isn't the only one getting anything she wants. Tiana, the youngest daughter, loves messing with her dad. She's probably the only person in the world who could get this dude to look like this. Dude looks like a pink highlighter. But he'll do tea time with her too, and even threw her a massive mermaid-themed birthday party, complete with the scariest piñata I've ever seen. They also both get to ride in his private jet and use his mansions whenever they want to. But The Rock's oldest daughter, Simone, is not into the girly stuff like the other two, because she followed in her dad's footsteps and became a pro wrestler. She basically copied everything he did, and has now made her WWE debut as Ava Raine. She's pretty damn hard, but that name sounds like some shit from the hub. Regardless, The Rock treats his kids like royalty. But these next 2 kids can actually say they are. And Prince George of Wales and Princess Charlotte of Wales are gonna have to learn to kill if they want to be king and queen. George and Charlotte may be in line to inherit the throne of England, but their parents are trying to raise them as normal as possible. So they don't go to private school, they get home-cooked meals, and they're allowed to have peasant hobbies like playing the drums, archery, or soccer. But that's about as normal as it gets, because since they were born, they live like they're already in charge. They got to fly in their family's private plane, the RAF Voyager, at just 6 months. George even met President Obama when he was 2. Dude's already done more in 2 years than most people will do in their life. But when they're not traveling the world, they're learning how to act like royalty. So they gotta go to parades, royal ceremonies, and even get pulled in straight gold carriages protected by a full-on royal guard. You know you're hot shit if you got a goddamn army watching you. But when they're at home, they got a royal nanny on guard. These nannies know how to fight, save lives, and even drive like Jason Bourne. And she even lives with a family at Adelaide Cottage. It's basically a smaller version of Buckingham Palace. So these kids already have access to real estate worth $5 billion. And that's barely more than Princess Charlotte is worth. She's the biggest youth fashion icon in the UK. So she's already been valued at $4.6 billion. She's literally richer than half the people in this video. But while she's modeling and playing with her super nanny, George gotta start prepping for war. over 1,200 years. There's a tradition in the English monarchy to have men join the military, but it's not even like they get a free pass to be a general. So George is actually gonna have to go through training, get locked in as a lieutenant, and maybe even fight if Russia gets overconfident in Ukraine. Imagine literally ruling a country and you still gotta take orders from people. It's a goofy ass tradition. But his mom had cancer when he was growing up, so he's probably tough enough for it. He barely looks like he even cares at some of these parades. Now, Ambani might not be royalty, but as the richest man in Asia, he's got his kids living pretty damn close. Growing up, Mukesh made sure the kids believed in putting family first. He thinks it's the most important value. And man, can I tell you. I mean, he's basically paid for all three to go to Yale, Brown, and Stanford. Maybe they're all secret geniuses, but it probably helps having a dad that can straight up buy these schools. But he also does take care of his kids. Anat had some pretty serious issues with asthma growing up, which led him to gain a ton of weight, but his parents always supported him. I think Anat's doing just fine if he pulled someone while looking like that, and threw a wedding like this. All of these kids are loaded though too, because after school, they went into the family business, Reliance Industries, and hold super high up positions. And they're not afraid to show it. These kids are literally known for their private jets, luxury cars, connections to the most powerful people in the world, and their absolutely ridiculous weddings. And of course, their house. Well, more like their building, because they live in a luxurious 27-story, $1 billion skyscraper in Mumbai. This thing's got a theater, an ice cream shop, a salon, a dance studio, health spa, yoga studio, a goddamn temple, and 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools. They got more amenities in that one building than like all of India. Everybody knows Ambani's a billionaire though, and you might not know Jerry Seinfeld is too. And for billionaire kids, Julia, Sasha, and Shepard keep their lives pretty low-key, aside from their Atlantic floating island. Jerry Seinfeld is another one of these billionaires who says money doesn't matter. Kinda easy to say though when your net worth is higher than the 10 poorest countries. But he's a traditional Jewish dad, and traditional means throwing bar and bar mitzvahs for each kid. Shepard's was pretty chill, because he doesn't like parties. Julian's was a 3-day rager literally called Juchella. There was a Saturday night party, a Sunday brunch, and 2 back-to-back services at the temple. Yeah, sounds lit. But Sasha's was by far the craziest. She got to party with Andy Cohen, Mark Consuelos, Kelly Ripa, and George Stephanopoulos. At just 13, she chugged fake champagne since she was too young. But now that she's old enough to actually drink, I can't imagine what college looks like for her. I knew Jerry took that pic of her and realized he should have had a 3rd son. But despite all the parties, these kids have figured out success since they were very young. Helps having one of the most famous dads on the planet. It definitely helped Shepard land his first movie role in the B-movie with his dad. But he didn't stop there. He went to Duke and even met President Biden in 2016. Dude may be shy, but he's doing better than the other two. I mean, they also both went to Duke. But Julian is literally up to nothing, and Sasha's claim to fame is writing an episode of Inside Amy Schumer? Daughter of a genius comic writing for a woman less funny than a fried crackhead. Tough. But Seinfeld don't give a fuck if his kids are losers. He still lets the kids crash at his places if they need to. And my god does he have some cribs. He's casually got this lake house in Vermont, and an apartment in one of the most expensive buildings in New York. Dude even bought a separate building like GTA 5 for all of his luxury cars and for when his kids visit. Dude deadass dropped $1 mil in a goddamn garage. But the kids won't be stopping by that much, cause they love to travel. So Jerry bought him an 11-bed, 13-bath ski resort, and a fucking castle in the Hamptons. Just for vacation. This shit looks bigger than the National History Museum, but it's nothing compared to how the kids travel. Yeah, they get to go in his nice-ass NetJets Galax private jet. Big surprise. But when they're in Europe, they can live on the ocean, because Jerry shares his yacht with them. And it's 140 feet long. It's got a pool, full gym, a beach club, and bar, so it's worth $25 million. No wonder Julian's got nothing going on. Bro could chill in this thing for the rest of his life and still end up with $100 million. But that's how much Diddy had to pay to the dude he SA'd in 1997. And he still spent way more on his own kids, cause he gives his kids crazy whips, mansions, and lets them use his yacht whenever they want. And it turns out one of Diddy's kids may be more like him than we realized, cause he had a complaint filed for SAing someone on Diddy's yacht. All of this stuff is alleged though, but there's something that's 100% true. And it's that Messi is the GOAT of soccer. Everyone thinks Cristiano Ronaldo's a GOAT, but even his kids say that there's someone better than him, because when CR started his YouTube channel, they absolutely roasted him, saying that Mr. Beast is better.
They say, Daddy, Mr. Beast is better than you.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
really?
they told me that.
The only way these kids could say that to one of the best soccer players in the world is because they're extremely spoiled. I mean, his 7-year-old son is already learning how to drive. Kinda. Mateo Ronaldo got this mini UTV to play in with his siblings, but it's not your average toy car, because this thing cost Cristiano $2,000. This kid's car is deadass worth more than my first real car, but for these kids, $2 grand is nothing.
Mom,
Lamborghini.
Cristiano Ronaldo Jr., the oldest son, signed with Al Nassr's youth soccer team because he's trying to be better than his dad. So at 14 years old, this kid is going to make $5 grand a month. No joke, that puts him in the top 1% of the world. The other siblings are into typical kid stuff, like swimming, dance, and fashion. But thanks to their dad, they're living like they're in the top 0.0001%. They got access to all of his mansions, so these kids get to go to places I've never heard of. Because Ronaldo's got an apartment in Lisbon, Mount in Jerez, a full-ass building in Madeira, and a luxury condo in New York's Trump Tower. But that's just the cheap stuff. They go on vacation in his Marbella, Spain home, and his Turin, Italy mansion. His wife even said this place is so big, she still can't find her way around. But the places the kids spend the most time are in his mansion in Cascais and his penthouse suite in Saudi Arabia. The Cascais house is their main crib, but when CR Jr. and his dad both got signed to Al Nassr, they had to get a place in Saudi Arabia. It's got 24-hour room service, a gym, outdoor pool, spa, and fitness center. It only costs 1.2 mil for the family to live there per year. But they're used to it though, because they don't get crazy birthday parties or anything. Aside from the mansions, and his private jet, and his $5 million yacht, these kids are going to be using their dad's private jet more than Taylor Swift. The only people who probably use their dad's private jet just as much are Trump's kids. I mean, even his grandkid Kai Trump gets to use it to fly around the world and hang out with Elon Musk to watch his rockets go into space. His son Barron Trump even gets to use it, and he might not be the president yet, but the Secret Service still watches him play with his cock. I'm talking about Clash of Clans, because that's Barron's favorite game, but he did also basically grow up in the White House. So we got to use the tennis court, jogging track, billiard room, pool, movie theater, and bowling alley whenever he wanted. But that wasn't always his main crib. Before he got to live like a president, he lived in stuff a little cheaper, like this 3-story penthouse. Obviously, it's inside Trump Tower in New York, because he's gotta rep the brand. And this place is over the top luxurious. The first floor is the kitchen, living, dining, and entertainment rooms. The second floor has all the beds and baths, and even a balcony. You gotta feel like Tony Montana living here, because Barron's even got his own maids and chefs. They all live on the third floor along with the guest room, and the rooms for Trump's other kids. Trump may have been married like 3 times with 4 other kids, but if Barron's getting his own floor, he's gotta be the favorite. Barron spent most of his childhood here, while going to the best schools in the city, but it wasn't even his only residence. During the winters, they went to Palm Beach, and in spring, they stayed at Trump's private Bedminster, New Jersey golf club, and this place is straight up better than the White House. It's got a gym, basketball court, helipad, pool, and 2 oversized hot tubs. But that's just for the normies. There's also 4 regulation-sized pickleball courts, 4 heat-treated surface and lighting platform tennis courts, and 4 more hard-trued granular surface tennis courts. Trump definitely built all that for Barron and the other kids, because ain't no way that dude can move like Serena Williams. But Barron probably uses all of it for real, because he's super into sports. He obviously golfs with his dad, but he also balls out, and he's even nasty at soccer. He was literally a midfielder on the DC U12 soccer team, and he first got into soccer while going to St. Andrews School in Maryland. But this wasn't no ordinary school. This was one of the craziest college prep schools in the US. Schools in the US are usually pretty nice, but this is the type of place only people in District 1 can afford. Its tuition is 40 grand. There's only 7 students for every teacher, and the food is 5-star restaurant quality. Well, he actually straight up couldn't eat it, because the Secret Service couldn't verify its safety. And the Secret Service didn't just watch him at lunch, they followed him everywhere. So his school life was a little weirder than everyone else's. He did at least half of his schoolwork online, which is kinda ass. But when he did go to school, he got to pull up in a bulletproof Secret Service SUV, and those armed guards went into the school with him. They watched his every move, from playing soccer to playing with his cock, or Clash of Clans, in the bathroom. And on his mom's orders, they wouldn't even let him do yearbook pics. But the funniest thing was when a 911 incident happened at a nearby supermarket. When the school went into lockdown, an agent entered the classroom and escorted Barron to safety until the threat was cleared. They did not give a fuck about those other kids. But they're gonna have to stop protecting him soon, because when Trump beat Kamala Harris for the presidency, he basically guaranteed another assassination attempt. But Barron's not worried, because he voted for the first time for his dad and appeared on stage next to him. Bro's got balls of titanium. And after his dad won, he even went with him to his resort in Mar-a-Lago. Oh yeah, Barron also gets to live there whenever he wants. And that place is so crazy, it looks AI generated. It's got amenities like some of the finest signature European indoor and terrace dining in the world. The Mar-a-Lago Spa, and a beach club that's also world-renowned. The beach club alone has 8 lavish seaside cabanas, an oceanfront 100-foot by 50-foot pool, and beachfront bistro on the side. For sports, there's 6 championship tennis courts, a full-size croquet court, a chip and putt golf course, and state-of-the-art fitness center. But the most coveted part is the entertaining space that has a white and gold ballroom. Baron keeps a pretty low profile, but I know he's probably risen up some foreign princess there in his free time. And if bullets do start flying at his dad, Baron will get taken to a secret underground escape tunnel with 3 different bomb shelters. Baron's gotta have one of the coolest lifestyles I've ever heard of, but he never really flaunts it because he's just a chill guy.